Of my favorite stories, and uh, the frog medicine, this uh, this way of living inside yourself, is a way of being from deep inside yourself, from the core, from the core of your heart, core of your song, truth of who you are, to be it. Not think of it as some kind of separate thing, some kind of separate thing that you need to pursue or capture, attain. That's that doesn't work. It's something. It's the carrot sitting in front of you, waggling around, that you can never catch if you treat it that way. Your song, your beingness, the aliveness, the entity, the consciousness that is you. That's who you actually are. And your body's part of that. Your mind is part of that. Your personality in this lifetime is part of that, part of your song. So as we learn to wake up in the way of these ancient traditions that essentially originated from the stars, from the star people. They're the ones who gave us this kind of knowledge in the first place. And it's been carried down on this planet for so many millennia. Long before humans were Earth humans here on Earth the way we are right now. Homo sapien. Long before that. It's just been passed down and shared and passed down and shared. And kept very sacred, because this is at the heart of all the sacred knowledge. This is the core piece. It's the first step, it's the middle steps, it's the last step. Learning how to be you. Learning who you really are, what you really are. Because the truth of those things had nothing, absolutely nothing like what our culture has told us for so many years. We are this entity, this extraordinary being, consciousness, pure consciousness, that is unique and individual in the universe. That's who we are. That's what we are. And there's so much of us. We've been in existence for countless eons. Perhaps before this universe even started. We've been around a long time. We've had many experiences, learned so many things, collected and earned so many gifts, so much knowingness. And we can bring that to bear here, consciously, purposefully, in this lifetime. We can explore it. We can explore all these different kind of places that we've been, different types of lifetimes that we've had. Learn as we explore and experience and begin to remember. Because as we do this, as we begin to wake up, we do remember, piece by piece, different lifetimes we've had as humans here on earth, lifetimes that we've had here on earth as something else. Could be all kinds of different something else's. Lifetimes on other planets, out in the cosmos, living in the middle of a nebula. Just think about that. Think about some of those pictures of extraordinary, huge nebulas full of all this glowing, glowing colors and lights and all these gases and forms and they're moving. And there's baby stars in there and baby planets. And somewhere along the line, you've probably hung out at least once in places like that. What does that feel like? What does it teach you? What does it show you? The more we learn about who we are, learn about our song and what that means, what it is, what we are, where we've been, why we came here to Earth to live as an Earth human again, right now. We chose this. Why? As we begin to wake up, get out of the cultural stupor and brain fog and the little cultural box that everybody gets shoved into, when we get out of that, that's waking up. It means we have to give up a lot of the ways of this modern culture, the ways of thinking that we learned. We have to get out of the habit of the mental patterns of thinking. It's all learned. It's all learned behavior. And we can unravel it, undo it, and let it go. It doesn't have to be our prison. As we get out of that, with it comes the other side of the mental coin, and that's emotions. Two sides of the same coin. And we have emotional habits that go hand in hand with these mental habits and the mental babble. And these emotions from our culture are typically so full of negative things, negative emotions, fears of every kind imaginable, anger, frustration, hopelessness, feeling powerless. All these things that our culture has taught us that there's something wrong with us personally. We are a less than. Never going to be able to be better, no matter how hard we try. Something wrong with us. Something, it's very personal. Something's wrong with me. And it's a lie. All these things, they're lies. Some people along the way wanting to control us, wanting to control the population, wanting to aim the population of Earth humans in a certain direction so they could have control. They could have that power. They told us all these lies. They told us all these ideas, and we took them on. We blindly took them on, blindly believing them and taking them deep inside. We believe them with fervor, a lot of charge, a lot of emotional charge. And that's what keeps making the box, keeps making the brain fog, all the things that keep us asleep, that's part of what keeps making them, keeping us there. And we get very addicted to all of that, all of those beliefs, all the charge that comes with them, all that a surety that we are right with this blind belief, we are correct. And we get really, really charged up. Very, very angry, demanding, ready to argue with each other, ready to have wars over these ideas. It's pretty powerful. Think about that. But we're at the time, we're at the age, the end of this era, the end of this world. It's right now. It's happening. By the predictions of the ancients, the old world has already ended. It's just we're getting rid of the slag. We're in the bridge time. We're in the time between the old world and the new world. And we have to build this bridge, and we have to build the new world. And we came here right now to be here now, to be part of this. We all have some kind of part that we came here to do, to build this bridge, to help wake up humanity, build a new world based on being awake, everybody being awake. The reason this is going to happen this time, at the end of this world, and this beginning of this new world, didn't happen before. We didn't succeed. But it's going to happen this time. And all the ancients say the same thing. How hard this journey of waking up is going to be, that's up to us. How long it's going to take, that's up to us. What kind of world exactly, all the details of this new world, that's all up to us. We're the ones designing and creating it with every thought and every emotion, every feeling, every belief we have inside ourselves. We're the ones creating it. So that's where Frog gets to be so important, because she's an incredible creator. She just follows her own business. She's in love with her aliveness. She's in love with life. She's in love with all the friends and beings around her. She's in love with the earth and the water and the plants and the sky and the rain and sunlight. And she's in love, just deeply in love with it all. She sees this incredible beauty of what it is that she sits in the middle of, that she's part of. Incredible beauty, incredible aliveness, incredible consciousness, incredible connectedness. She's in the middle of the field of aliveness, and she's just singing with it and dancing with it. That's her song. That's the delight of her song. That's the passion of her song. That's a purpose for being alive in this lifetime here on Earth. And Earth is a very special place to be able to do this, because not all planets are like that. So she knows how lucky she is to be able to be alive and in a frog's body and have this incredible pond, her water, all her friends, everything, the sunlight, everything. the amount of diversity, amount of life that's all around her. It's extraordinary. And she's well aware of it because she's awake. She has no programming. She has no blind beliefs. She's fully awake and able to perceive everything that is around her and inside of her and her herself and the interactions, all the connectedness and the field and the everything. And she has so much love, deep, unconditional love, passion, great, great passion for all of this. And she's just feeling it all the time. And it bubbles up. She, because it's like it's effervescent. It's just something that is just bubbling and boiling and perking and sprinkling out all the time. And that's her passion. That's the love. That's the aliveness. That's everything that she's sharing as a living being with all of her friends and all of the life around her and everything out to the rest of the planet, out to the solar system, out to the galaxy, even out to the whole universe, because we're that powerful. Our aliveness, our consciousness is connected to everything in the universe. And as we experience anything, we are sharing it with everything else and everybody else, all the rest of this life and consciousness. And she knows that. She loves that. She loves the experience of it. And she loves the experience of everybody else's experiences and their knowledge, their life, their love, their passions coming back to her. That's part of what she's experiencing in the pond. And she shares out and she receives. And she shares out and she receives. And it bubbles up. Boom. That's magic. The magic that creates in the world. That everybody's personal song, their personal purpose in life, their personal passions, they're all different in some way. They're all different, but they're all full of unconditional love and passion, and they get shared out to everybody around them, out clear out to the ends of the universe. In nature, everything's awake. In raw nature. And we have a lot of that on this planet. Even though we've done a lot of trashing. We've trashed a lot of things on this planet, but still, it has an extraordinary amount of aliveness and different forms of life and consciousness and connectedness and beauty, incredible beauty. We're all sending our information out. If we're asleep, if we're still living in that brain fog and all the cultural lies dictating everything that we think, dictating every emotion we feel, dictating every decision that we make, we're not free. When we're asleep, we are not free. We are enslaved. Deeply, deeply, deeply enslaved. And we're at the mercy of who and whatever we have given our power away to. And that has to change. That's that's what it's all about. The end of this world, the dying world. Dying off of the backwards turning upside down wheel. And that is a very good thing for us on our planet. A very, very good thing. But when you think about it, it isn't just us that we're affecting, whether we're sending out energies that are asleep and doing all these asleep things, an automatic pilot full of fear and anger and judgment and hatred and self-loathing and on and on and on and on. Whether we're sending that out to ourselves, to our neighbors, to our planet, the solar system, the galaxy, the whole universe, or we're sending out the energies like the frog of our our whole beingness is awake and free, completely free. We're free to feel and experience whatever we want. We're free to aim our attention at whatever it is we want, to experience whatever it is we want. We're free. We choose the thoughts, the words. We choose whether our mind is busy or not. We choose the emotions we want to feel. Choose them. They are not something that is dumped upon us in our prison without our permission or control. We actually choose them. But when we're asleep, we're pre-programmed to choose all the wrong things, all the destructive things. Rarely do we choose the most beautiful and loving and alive and sharing and caring kinds of things. And when we do, they're stilted. They're not as full as they could be. They're not as rich. They're not as intense as they could be if when we're awake. So this is our bridge. This is our choices on our bridge. This is what is confronting us head on. It is the giant boogeyman boulder in the middle of the bridge, in front of us, blocking our way. So it's time. This is what the ancients have been predicting for so many, hundreds of thousands of years, really. And this is what a lot of aliens, star people, have talked to Earth people about. This is the time. It's happening now. So now is the time to start choosing and start learning about these things, about waking up, finding out who you really are and what you really are, and just how fantastic that is, how fantastically spectacular, huge, wondrous each one of us is. And humans aren't the only consciousness on this planet. There are so much more. Everything is conscious. Everything is alive. The air, the atoms, the molecules, the dirt, the rocks, the water, all these things that we consider inanimate, they are different than us as humans, different, but alive and conscious. And all of those things are awake. We humans, as a species, so many members of our human race are still asleep, painfully asleep, and not free, and being led around like they got a metal loop in their nose, being lied to, constant lies. And all the programming is there and reinforced and reinforced and reinforced. Now's the time to change it. And the way we change it is to do just what the frog does. We have to find out who we are. We have to find out our true identity and begin living it, being it, identifying with it completely, understanding that is who we are, body and our emotions, our mind, our spirit, everything. That's our song. That's our truth. And it doesn't have to be imprisoned. It doesn't have to be asleep. We don't have to lose our freedom. And this is the time to explore it. This is the time. It's huge. This awakening time. All the bridge times that have been before are huge times of change. Rebuilding so much. Huge change. And this is too. And then we're going to see more. And if we want this awakeness, and we want the human species to be awake like this, totally awake and free and connected and full of this aliveness, full of frog medicine, curiosity and creativity and so much love. We're the ones who have to start making it inside ourselves. We have to make that awakeness and that clarity. We're the ones who have to experience and create that love and the beauty and the freedom. We're the ones who have to change the way we think down to the core of how we learned how to think, the patterns, the beliefs that we carry, essentially throwing the whole package out. Most of you have heard the phrase, there's even a book title or two about everything that you know is wrong. Everything you think you know is wrong. And it's true. Sometimes it's partially wrong, but most of the time it's completely wrong. We've just been taught misinformation and just flat out lies for a very long time. And we've perpetuated it. We teach our children the same garbage. So the only way to stop it is to change it inside yourself. Throw out the package of blind beliefs. Question everything. Question everything. When we're awake, we have the doors open, the psychic doors open to the universe to find out the truth about anything and everything instantly. But we have to start waking up to get to that door and get it open. With our emotional self, we have so much energy, so much emotion invested in all these blind beliefs and all the, the parts and pieces of the asleepness from our modern culture. It's we've taken on so much and we hold it so intensely because of the emotional strength that we have tied to it all. And that's where the addiction to it comes from. To the emotional strength that we use to hang on to all the garbage, all the lies. And we have to make the choice to undo that and let it go. Our, our physical self follows suit. Our physical self follows our intent, the emotional, mental, spiritual focus and intent. We're creating our body, recreating it all the time. And we have this opportunity, many, many opportunities, one second to the next, to be able to change how we have built our physical bodies and the conditions that are there. We can change that. The more we wake up, the more we understand about our connection to our physical body and how our attention, how our focus, how our beliefs control the state of being of our body, the state of health. We need to be working on that. And the spiritual aspect of our being. That's the biggest part. In the asleep way, we've shut it down and turned everything off as much as possible. And we ignore it as much as possible. And we're taught things like that doesn't exist. All the stories about it are impossible. They're fairy tales. And like everything else that we were taught, we believe it really strongly. So we have to let all those kinds of ideas and blind beliefs go and allow ourselves, give ourselves permission to experience the spiritual aspects of our being. And begin waking it back up. When we're born, these things are all fully active, fully integrated, all synchronized and coherent. And we can remember that. We can remember that, and we can remember it from other lifetimes. Here on Earth, on other planets, we can remember what it is like to be awake and not have all that mental babble, blind belief, strong negative emotion, fog, clouding everything. So that's what Frog offers. That's her gift to everybody, to our whole planet. And it radiates out from there because we're not the only planet with this problem, with this state of being, with this asleepness, with this seems like it's a war between negative and positive or good and evil. We're not the only planet. And what we do and what we accomplish personally inside ourselves benefits the entire human consciousness, the entire human race, everything that is on planet Earth, everything that's alive here. It's all alive. It benefits life and consciousness and the other races out there that are stuck in the same kind of place we are. It benefits them and gives them a really big boost in the direction of waking up and being free. But it's not just a whole human race thing, a whole planet thing. It's not just the whole universe thing. It's personal. It's interior, and it's private. We've been taught, we've been raised to believe strongly that everything that goes on inside us with our thoughts, our mind, with our heart, with our emotions, with our spirit, is secret and private. And nothing outside of ourselves knows anything about what we are thinking or feeling or experiencing. We have believed that very, very, very strongly, and it has allowed us to do all kinds of negative asleepness activities, behaviors. The truth is that every thought we have, every belief we have, every emotion that we feel, every other kind of experience that we feel is shared with everybody and everything. And it becomes part of the total human consciousness. There are no secrets. There's nothing hidden. So it's food for an awful lot of thought as to how we affect ourselves and how we affect everybody, everything around us, and our whole human race, our whole planet, and beyond. We're very powerful. We have a great deal of effect. And the more we wake up, we're remembering these past lives. We all have experiences where this is extremely demonstrated. How much power we really have and how much effect the thoughts in our mind, the emotions in ourselves actually has. So that's Frog's message.